It's very pleased to have you here, host you here today.
Hello, Seda. Thank you for the invitation. I'm really very glad that I have opportunity to tell about coaching in Ukraine today, and I'm honored to be the voice of Ukrainian coaches today. It is inspiring that colleagues from other countries are interested in our experience, and I'm very grateful for the support and kind words from colleagues from all the world. This is very important and valuable for me, for my colleagues, for my board team. If we had met a year and a half ago, my answers would be totally different, but today it is a story about unique experience that we have of coaching in wartime conditions. I will talk about coaching considering my own management and coaching experience as a leader of the professional community, as a coach who works with the leaders, and a human who has experienced the war. I will speak from a few roles today, from several points of view about coaching in Ukraine.
Yes. Could you please introduce yourself and your profession? How did you become a coach? Tell us about your journey in coaching, please.
Thank you. Now I am a president of the ICF Ukraine since November 2022. My leadership role today is a great personal and professional challenge for me. A personal challenge is that due to Russia's full-scale war against Ukraine, I evacuated to Germany, where I live now with my children. As a mother, I am responsible for the well-being of two my sons, and I do it in a totally new environment for me, for my kids. It will be not easy dialogue. There is nothing worse than war and tens of thousands of deaths. It is difficult to hear in this space many things, but it's even more difficult to go through this experience personally I had. In this war, my family lost a 25-year-old man, my husband's nephew. He was killed by Russian soldiers. I could have died 3 times in February last year. Russian missiles were near my house. I was in Kyiv with my family when the war started. Do you remember when rocket hit television tower in Kyiv and people died? My office is 700 meters from the tower, and I was in office 15 minutes before the explosion, and it was my reality at the time. When I evacuated the children into in the beginning of March, Kyiv was on fire. There were explosions, endless alarm sirens, and a lot of horror from what was happening. When yesterday I had everything for a good life, and today I lost everything. But I am not what happened to me. I am who I choose to be. I went through the pain and grew up in that experience to go through my own rebirth, to be a support for other people. Because I am a coach, I am a leader. I took responsibility in this profession. I became the 4th president of ICF Ukraine, realizing that this is a leadership in a war, and there is no previous experience that I can rely on. As the leader of professional community, which unites more than 360 coaches, I'm responsible for sustainable growth of this community. In partnership with colleagues, we are responsible for the development of organization. We ensure launch of new large-scale coaching projects, the projects that are important and needed in Ukraine more than ever. The board members, as well as the members of the chapter, are living now in different countries, so we work remotely from different parts all over the world. My colleagues from the board team live in Ukraine, Poland, Lithuania, Germany, and United States. And I can declare now that Ukrainian coaching has a global presence already. My professional challenge is to support myself in conditions of high uncertainty and to be a support for others, for the team, colleagues, and clients in the big project that we initiate. What about my story, how I become a coach? I came to coaching quite unusually. Often colleagues come to coaching from management positions after their own client experience of working with an experienced coach, or colleagues with extensive experience in the HRD. My story is related to burnout in my personal and professional life. I built my life intensively, and at the age of 30, I fulfilled a personal planning program, marriage, 2 children, and a successful career in an international corporate business in the managerial financial positions. I've seen also other people burning out in businesses. That's why I was looking for a way to help myself so that later I could help others in professional way already. Coaching changed my life. I found my meaning in life and a way to support people and business in another role. And now I am executive coach. I work with business owners and top managers. I know from personal and professional experience that when a leader works with a coach, then the result is gotten not only by the leader, but by the whole system managed by this leader. The more leaders will trust professional coaching, the faster the coaching culture will come to companies, organizations, teams, and communities. My coaching practice consists of large corporate projects with further development of coaching culture in the companies.
Thank you for this rich content about your coaching profession. Could you also please explain the coaching profession in Ukraine? How long has it been in the country?
Thank you for your question. A coaching appeared in Ukraine in the early 2000s. At that time, big international companies that were present in Ukraine began to use coaching, and the first coaching training programs began to appear. Among the members of our chapter, there are owners of coaching school that have been working on the market for 20 years. In the 10,000s, interests to the profession was constantly growing, as well as the number of coaches in Ukraine. Local brands that offer coaching training based on their own programs appeared. Currently, programs accredited by the ICF and programs of other institutions are presented in Ukraine. When in the 2000s coaching was not a mass phenomenon, then now more people and organizations are aware of coaching. As new providers have appeared, the number of professionally trained coaches who have gratitude from accredited ICF programs has increased. Today in Ukraine, coaching is an integral part of country's life and everything that is happening in the country. Now, a single country in the world has experience of using coaching in conditions of war. Many Ukrainian coaches are engaged in volunteer projects. There are also coaches who are currently at the front even. Attention to Ukrainian coaching and understanding how it develops now is actually a chance for the global coaching community to see the power of coaching and the opportunities it reveals in a world that radically is and unexpectedly changing.
Okay, apart from the history of coaching in the Ukraine, is this profession also legally recognized?
Mhm. Coaching is a new professional direction for Ukraine and is still developing. I see it as a task of leadership team of the coaching community, ICF Ukraine, to advocate for the coaching profession, to join our force so that the profession becomes legally established in the classification of occupations and in the list of economic activity types. Of course, we understand that the coaching profession needs to be taught. We also realize that coaching needs to be developed as a culture. We are interested in working with educational institutions so that coaching as an educational program was taught in universities, at the departments of management, pedagogy, and psychology, and in business schools, of course. And the prospect of making the profession legally recognized depends on the availability of professional coaching training schools, the number of professional coaches on the market, the demand for coaching in business, the efforts of professional associations, and awareness in society of what professional coaching is. This is a long-term task, and ICF Ukraine sees itself as a leader in this process. This is a joint effort of all market participants. We are interested in studying and adopting the experience of other countries that are ahead of us now and where the profession is already legally established.
Yes, thank you. And nowadays, what do people think about the coaching profession in general?
I believe that the formation of public opinion regarding coaching is a journey. The creation of ICF Ukraine in 2017 has a significant impact on the attitude toward the profession. If 20 years ago the word coaching was incomprehensible, then now there is an understanding that coaches and profession, that coaching must be studied, and that there are appropriate professional standards. At the same time, there is still significant potential for the development and popularization of the profession. In Ukraine, there is still a tendency to call oneself a coach after completing a 3-day program. Reputational challenges and risk encourage ICF Ukraine to be more active and inform that a professional coach has a high quality coaching education, proven experience, professional certification, and is guided by ethical standards. ICF coaching standards are prevailing in Ukraine. This may surprise our colleagues worldwide, but the value of professional coaching was strongly demonstrated during the war. How to find the strength and energy to live in conditions when you absolutely cannot predict the future. How to find the strength to live when you have to live through trauma and loss. how to find the strength and resilience to develop a profession when life brings existential challenges to leaders and companies. Of course, not only coaching is used as a support, but in combination with other approaches, it is now very effective and in demand.
In the light of this answer, what do you think about being a coach in Ukraine?
It's my favorite question, and I really like to speak about being coach in Ukraine. Being a coach in Ukraine is about responsibility, first of all, to be a professional coach and to highlight the possibilities of this still new for Ukraine profession. It means to develop practice in the difficult conditions in which the whole of Ukraine currently lives. To work according to the professional values, which are based on human values, dignity, freedom, and independence. To be a coach in Ukraine means to develop one's own style of maintaining the source state under circumstances and to work in conditions of total uncertainty and not knowing, with often power and communication interruptions, in conditions of frequent missile attacks even. How to support others when the coaches themselves set up their lives and with families in other countries because of the war. Being a coach in Ukraine means working on the development of the profession in a way so that this development works for the overall victory of Ukraine. Many coaches are involved in non-commercial projects to provide support to those who need it more to the most: volunteers, non-governmental organizations, other professional communities, business owners who have moved to other regions, and teams that have been relocated outside of Ukraine. Colleagues from the United States and Western Europe were impressed by the vitality and resilience of Ukrainian coaches, their desire to work and develop professionally and restore their coaching practice and grow professionally as soon as possible. Actually, I'm honored to share that during the war, 5 coaches were certified as MCC level, and this is unique feature of all Ukrainians.
Yeah. So it was the COVID affected all world, all the coaches around the world, all the people around the world. Now it is a war time for you in Ukraine. How do you think the COVID, more importantly, the war, affect the coaching business in Ukraine?
Mm-hmm. The coaching business has undergone and is still undergoing significant change in connection with COVID and the war. The main transformation of the coaching business due to COVID concerned that the transition to remote work with clients. On the one hand, it was challenging as all the processes needed to be adjusted. On the other hand, it was an impact on Ukrainian coaches to work globally. The war caused drastic changes in the Ukrainian coaching business and brought many big challenges. It affected both coaches and their clients on different levels of professional and personal being. First of all, it concerns life and health issues of coaches and coachees. The constant threats to life and health affected the physical, emotional state of people, their mental state, and the way and process of design making. According to UN data, over 8 million Ukrainians become refugees during the war, during 1 year of our war, to be exactly 14 months. And another 5 million Ukrainians became internally displaced persons. And it is important to understand that there are also coaches and coaches among these people. People lost their jobs and were faced with significant decrease in salaries, and some of them needed to start their life from scratch. Companies lost their clients, orders, and profits, and some of them even possibility to operate. Understanding of this, we realize how much Ukrainians need coaching support now.
Yeah, you talked about the coaches from Ukraine that are gone to other countries like Western Europe, United States, and you have, encountered with these people, the other coaches. They are amazed how resilient and the vitality of the coaches in Ukraine. So how do you think the coaches around the world can support each other?
Mm-hmm. First of all, I would like to highlight that such support of coaches each other is very, very important and make a huge influence on overall development of coaching globally. We are deeply grateful to our colleagues around the world who responded to our request and offered their support from the first days of the war. This support is a huge contribution to our resilience and further development. In ICF Ukraine, we have had a great experience and significant results from the partnership with other chapters worldwide. An example for such support is supervision support in partnership with ICF Germany, pro bono coaching support for Ukrainian coaches with ICF Metro DC. We had guest events partnership with ICF Pittsburgh, continued learning support with partnership from ICF South Florida, resource development in partnership with ICF Slovenia, and more pro bono support with ICF Latvia, ICF Ohio, and other ICF chapters. The role of ICF Global is difficult to overestimate. Since the first days of the war, Ukrainian coaches got important support from ICF, and ICF Global continues to support Ukrainian coaches. I believe that our partnership will continue to expand and deepen, and together we will overcome the global challenges we faced. At the same time, the support of each other on an individual level also makes a great impact. This may include different types of partnerships with focuses on networking, information, learning, sharing experience, and many other kinds of cooperation. In Ukraine, we are very, very open to making new connections and creating new projects with many coaches worldwide.
Wonderful. It's really nice to see all these cooperations with other chapters around the world. It's amazing how coaches can support each other. Is a very concrete demonstration here you're talking about. Thank you. How do you see the future of the coaching and the coaching business in Ukraine?
I'm truly optimistic about my vision of the future of the coaching and coaching business in Ukraine. Now, Ukrainian coaches provide support to more than 300 Ukrainian leaders as a part of their pro bono program. It is national program for Ukrainian leaders, the first big program, national program, coaching program. Almost 100 Ukrainian coaches take part in such projects. coaching works in a war. Ukrainian leaders not only keep their businesses, but also develop them in Ukraine during the war, open businesses in other countries. Coaching is very, very supportive. We are looking for another ways, additional ways to support more people now with coaching. The existing and potential clients demonstrate willingness and readiness to change themselves and their lives and businesses. I want to say, as the president of ICF chapter, that during the last year, the total amount of coaches increased in our chapter by 56% at the beginning of 2023 compared 2022. It demonstrated the great potential of the Ukrainian coaching market. At the same time, we are aware of existing challenges, which include the ability of clients to pay for coaching services now, the popularity of coaching in Ukraine, distinction profession coaching from non-profession and others. But we are taking this responsibility to boost the development of the coaching market in Ukraine, and we are doing it every day.
Yeah, this challenging times and how the coaches increases this pro bono works makes me goosebumps. It's really amazing. So would you like to share something about coaching in Ukraine additionally as my last question?
Yes, thank you. There was widespread opinion in the world that coaching is impossible in the conditions of war, that the requests and topics of the military context lie only in the sphere of psychotherapy. However, the practical experience of Ukrainian coaches prove that coaching works as a supporting profession along with psychotherapy and psychology. During the war in Ukraine, there were implemented projects for Ukrainian leaders to support the business's operation, as well as leaders who have an influence on the politics, economic, and social sphere in the country during wartime. I'm proud of the innovativeness of Ukrainian coaches. For me, innovation is the result of the courage to go where we have not been before, to work with new requests, to create projects that are absolutely unique in the world. Despite harsh conditions of Russia aggression and full-scale war, ICF Ukraine as an NGO or professional community works actively and supports coaches via guest events, maintains a presence in public when helping other NGOs and volunteers to withstand hardship and the thought pressure of wartime. Ukrainian coaching community makes its contribution within its power to the society's resilience and well-being. As a coaching community, we grow, we expand our area of influence, engaging more people into coaching. For me, coaching in Ukraine is about affinity and embodiment of values, both national and professional. What Ukraine is doing now, it fights for humanity, freedom, and equality. How does it do it? Professionally, wholeheartedly, and in partnership with all progressive world.
Thank you, Alina, in this challenging times that you give your time to us to share your opinions, your experiences, along with ICF Ukraine chapter and all the other partnerships that you are carrying with other coaches around the world. It is a very big privilege for us to host you here today. Thank you again for your time. I hope to engage with you with other projects in the future. I hope good days, better and peaceful days will come for you and for all the people around the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to share with our experience. Thank you. Thank you for this humanity space. And of course, I believe in peace in all the world. Thank you.
Thank you.